Welcome to the story of India's freedom struggle, a tale of resilience, unity, and an unyielding quest for freedom. In this chapter, we dive deep into the rise of nationalism in India, particularly during the first half of the 20th century. This period was marked by a series of significant events and movements that collectively paved the way for India's independence. The seeds of nationalism were sown much earlier, but it was during this era that they truly began to sprout and flourish. The chapter focuses on how Indians from diverse backgrounds united to fight against British colonial rule under the leadership of Mahatma Gandhi and other prominent leaders. The early 1900s were a time of growing dissatisfaction with British policies. The British Raj's exploitative economic practices and oppressive laws created widespread discontent among Indians. This discontent was further fueled by events like the partition of Bengal in 1905, which was seen as an attempt to divide and rule. Mahatma Gandhi emerged as a central figure in the freedom struggle. His philosophy of nonviolence and civil disobedience resonated with millions. Gandhi's leadership was instrumental in uniting people across the country, transcending regional, religious, and social divides. It all began with the growing dissatisfaction with British policies. The Rowlatt Act of 1919 allowed the British to imprison Indians without trial. This draconian law angered the public and led to widespread protests. The act was seen as a blatant violation of civil liberties and human rights. The protests against the Rowlatt Act were a significant turning point. They marked the beginning of a more organized and widespread resistance against British rule. People from all walks of life participated in these protests, demonstrating their collective resolve to fight for their rights. One of the darkest moments during this time was the Jallianwala Bagh massacre, where General Dyer ordered troops to fire on unarmed civilians gathered for a peaceful meeting. Hundreds lost their lives, and this brutal act of violence shocked the nation and the world. The Jallianwala Bagh massacre became a turning point in India's struggle for independence. It galvanized the Indian population and intensified their resolve to fight against British oppression. The massacre also drew international condemnation and highlighted the brutal nature of British colonial rule. After this, Mahatma Gandhi introduced the idea of non-cooperation. He believed in ahimsa, nonviolence, and satyagraha, truth force. The non-cooperation movement of 1920 to 22 encouraged Indians to boycott British goods, schools, and institutions. Gandhi's call for unity inspired millions, but the movement was suspended after the Chowri Chowra incident. The non-cooperation movement was a significant milestone in the freedom struggle. It demonstrated the power of collective action and nonviolent resistance. Indians from all walks of life participated in the movement, showing their willingness to make personal sacrifices for the greater good. However, the movement faced challenges. The Chowri Chowra incident, where a violent mob set a police station on fire, led Gandhi to call off the movement. He believed that the struggle for independence should be based on nonviolence, and that any deviation from this principle would undermine the cause. Gandhi also emphasized self-reliance. He urged Indians to spin their own cloth and wear khadi to reduce dependence on British goods. This was not just about economics. It was a symbol of resistance and nationalism. The spinning wheel became a powerful symbol of the freedom struggle. In 1930, Gandhi launched the civil disobedience movement with the iconic Salt March to Dandi. This 240-mile journey was a protest against the salt tax imposed by the British. Thousands of people joined the movement, breaking salt laws and refusing to pay taxes. The Salt March was a defining moment in the freedom struggle. It demonstrated the power of nonviolent resistance and the ability of ordinary people to challenge unjust laws. The march inspired similar protests across the country, further weakening British control. However, the national movement wasn't without challenges. The Indian National Congress, under leaders like Nehru and Patel, called for complete independence. At the same time, divisions between Hindus and Muslims began to emerge. Leaders like Muhammad Ali Jinnah demanded separate representation for Muslims, leading to the rise of the idea of Pakistan. The growing divisions between Hindus and Muslims posed a significant challenge to the freedom movement. The demand for a separate Muslim state led to tensions and conflicts, complicating the struggle for independence. Despite these challenges, the movement continued to gain momentum. By the 1940s, the Quit India movement was launched, calling for the British to leave India immediately. Despite arrests and brutal repression, the movement strengthened the resolve of Indians. The slogan "Do or Die" became a rallying cry for freedom fighters across the country. Eventually, after years of struggle, India achieved independence in 1947. The journey of nationalism in India is a story of resilience, unity, and sacrifice. It reminds us of the power of collective action and the dream of a free and equal nation. The legacy of the freedom struggle continues to inspire generations, reminding us of the importance of standing up for justice and equality. As we reflect on this journey, we honor the countless individuals who dedicated their lives to the cause of freedom. Their sacrifices and unwavering determination laid the foundation for the India we know today. The story of India's freedom struggle is a testament to the enduring spirit of a nation that refused to be subdued.